Hello and thank you for joining me. My name is Tom Spiro and I've decided to do a presentation on how to sell yourself to an employer. So let's get started. So according to Glassdoor.com, on average, each corporate job offer attracts 250 resumes, and of that 250 resumes, 4 to 6 will be interviewed and only 1 will get the job offer. So let's break that down percentage-wise. That is a 1.6 to 2.4% chance of being interviewed, and of that 1.6 to 2.4% chance, you have a 17 to 25% chance of being hired. So I ask the question, do you have what it takes to be in that range to get hired out of 250 applicants? So I'd like to cover these 3 main points: solid resume, tailoring yourself to a company needs, and making yourself stand out to a company. If you can take away from my lesson a balance of all these points and apply it to yourself, you should be able to make yourself stand out to a company. So, according to our textbook on page 374, employers initially spend 15 to 45 seconds looking at your resume, and during this scan, they're looking for a persuasive answer to the essential question, what can you do for us? Your resume should include these basic points: contact information, career objectives, education, work experience, personal data, and skills. Your potential employer should get a good impression of you from glancing at your resume. So organization of your resume is key in order to showcase your strongest skills, qualifications, and experience. Your resume should be easy to read, and it should be not cluttered. It should be free of grammatical errors and spelling errors. It should be scannable, and it should be single page. Never be afraid to ask for help. Ask a friend to review it. You can send it in an email to multiple people and say, hey, look over this, make sure I didn't miss anything, tell me what you think, what's your impression, would you hire me off of this, would you do the interview off of this? Ask questions like that. Also, ask a college to review it. Oftentimes the college will have, in their writing center, they'll have a resume workshop where you can go through and you can give them your resume and they'll help you either build it or restart from new, and they'll help you really make your resume a lot better to where you can go out and give that to an employer and be confident. Also, use good accredited websites. There's out there, I know Microsoft has LinkedIn with Indeed.com, to where if you're working on your resume on Microsoft, Indeed will pop up in the corner and say to use a resume builder, and it will go through and give you strong points and words that you can put in there, and it'll help you really strengthen your resume. Use those tools. So here is a resume of mine that I've done before I did all the editing and changing to it. You can see the font's kind of small, it's hard to read. Also, the education portion is not centered, it's kind of left skewed. On top of, I'm missing commas right here. Simple stuff like that can make yourself stand out. You have redundant information as well. I have president's list here and I have 3.87 grade point average. The 3.8 grade point average is kind of assumed with the president's list. There's a certain range of grade point averages, so it's redundant information that doesn't really need to be on there. Also, the resume does have the contact information. It has my objectives, the education, the work experience, and awards, but it's really missing my skills and qualifications. They want to see, when you're looking at this, they want to look at what are your skills and qualifications, what can you do for the company. This resume does have all of that stuff, but the employer, you really need to showcase yourself on here, so make sure that you add all that stuff in there. My next point is tailoring yourself to company needs. So a quote from Indeed is, one of the most important sales tactics is to know your customer. In the case of selling yourself for an interview, it is vital that you understand the potential employer's needs and desires to the best of your ability. Tailoring yourself to the position the company is hiring for example, if they are hiring for an electrician, offer to demonstrate some skills, offer to bring in, show them pictures, hey, this is what I've worked on, this is what I've done. So you really want to be thinking of an example of a custom tailored suit. When someone gets a suit that's custom tailored, it is measured specifically to fit their body. You should do the same for yourself. You should measure yourself up to that company and really specifically cut yourself out for that company to make them say, wow, we need this person. Also, you should want to investigate that company, study their website, go through and look and see if they have a careers page, see if they have an about us, see how the company started if that's available on there. Really research and dig in. Also, read reviews about them. Go to Google and type in the company, and they'll often have Google reviews or Yelp reviews or reviews on Facebook. But go through and look at those reviews, because oftentimes employees from past and present will give reviews of those companies, so you can see what kind of company you're going into, and you could possibly have questions about some of these reviews and take to the employer and be like, look, I've seen these questions on here. Can you answer these? Also, find their Facebook page. See what they're doing to promote business to keep people coming in, so that way you know that you're going to have a secure job. See what they're doing to sell themselves. Once investigation is done, you can ask yourself, what does the company require of me for this role? Once you have answered this, you can craft answers to specific questions that the employer is going to ask to make yourself really fit to their company. This will showcase your unique ability to fulfill the position that they have offered. So next, we want to make ourselves stand out. So according to the article at foothill.edu, they suggest listing 25 reasons why the employer should hire you. This will help you more honestly and fully express yourself and improve your chances of being hired. Examples of this would be being punctual, being on time, following directions, you're detail-oriented, you have good teamwork skills, good customer service skills, you don't quit on hard tasks, and you ask questions when needed. You don't just do stuff without asking if you're unsure on stuff. I would recommend memorizing these points, because oftentimes people fail to do this, and when you get put on the spot to ask a lot of employers will ask, why are you a good fit for the company? And you draw a blank. Memorize these points, that way you can say all of these points and make yourself really stand out to the employer. And another quote from Indeed.com, they're suggesting try to ask questions that show you have researched the company in advance. That's going to make you stand out. The next thing I would suggest to do is connect with that hiring manager on LinkedIn. And this is an example of a LinkedIn website. It's kind of a professional online portfolio where you can connect with people from all around the world with different businesses and corporate offices and stuff like that. You can go through it gives you your information, gives you contact information, and it can show you things about that employer, and it can show the employer things about you, your skills, qualifications, and stuff like that. Or you can use, I have the example here of an online portfolio. Here's a video that I have taken of a screen. This is an online portfolio that I have made. I have it password protected, where I can give this password to the employer. That way not everyone can access my information. As going to start out, I have a picture of myself so they can face the name. Shows a little bit about me. It shows a quote from Thomas Edison. Also, it shows jobs I built, pictures of them. They can click on and view this stuff. I do electrical work, so it shows that. My professional experience shows my job experience. It also shows my school experience, where what schools and colleges I've attended. I also have a letter of recommendation where they can click and download a PDF, and it'll show the letters of recommendation people wrote for me. I also have a get in touch page, and they have my phone number, email, and then you can click on that LinkedIn and it will take that person directly to my LinkedIn website. So having an excellent resume, tailoring yourself for the company, and making yourself stand out can help you, so that way you can be in that 17 to 25% chance range of being hired. So are you selling yourself with confidence, excitement, and energy? If not, then I ask why. Why shortchange yourself when it comes to big companies like this? Why don't do the best that you can to get into that company? Why jeopardize your career and happiness? Because ultimately, say, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. According to the great Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots that you do not take. So I tell you, go take those big shots. Go apply to those big companies like the big three, for an example like that. Go apply. Try and get into the applicant pool, the 250 applicants, and be the best that you can be so you can get hired. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And here's where I've got all my sources from. This is where I've got the gist of my information. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And I thank you very much for your time.